All right, all right. Well, hello, folks. How on earth is everybody doing? I hope you are well and welcome. It's what on earth? Gee, don't tell me my neck's got one of those things going on. Oh man, I'm going to need to do something about that. Have I got one of those turkey necks? Anyway, how on earth are you doing, my little beauties? And welcome to this little live stream. It's probably going to be about half an hour. And I thought I would give you another one of my incredible patent pending macho male makeovers. Now, a lot of you have been, at least who are involved in web development, have been a little bit worried about the way things are going with IT. And some of you have been talking about what can you learn? What can you learn? What thing can you pick up that will make you, let's say, economically viable? What can you do that will guarantee that you get hired? Or at least increase your chances. And my thoughts on this are crystal clear because, as far as I can tell, the one thing that there's always going to be a demand for is people who can be presentable and, well, specifically people who can present, you know? And when you think about it, that's what drives the economy. It doesn't matter whether you're somebody who's pitching some software in a boardroom or somebody who teaches IT to other people or whatever you're doing, you know. We are all in the selling business, whether we like it or not. And if you're not selling, somebody else is probably on your behalf, and it's just how it all goes, you know. I don't do wristwatch checks, but how do you like that little beauty? I thought it was a wee bit of fun, you know. Anyway, I figured that the one thing that there's always going to be a demand for is people who can present and people who can sell. And you would look at me and say, well, this guy's got no chance, and the accent and everything. But in fact, it turns out that this is something that we can all improve upon, each and every one of us. And oh, what a time to be a guy, because I don't want to go controversial and political on you, but I think that masculinity itself has been under attack recently. And because trends and all of that are cyclical in nature, it means that it's a really great time to dress, let's say, like a more traditional sort of a guy. Now, I've been doing this for about, let me see, almost a year now. I've had an image change and I dress well every day. And I'm not going to say that I've had women throwing themselves at me or anything. That was never the objective, actually. But I have had a few approaches from people, commercially and non-commercially. And the good news is that no matter how old you are, no matter what age you are, and no matter what afflictions you may have, maybe you're losing some hair, maybe you've not got much of a chin, maybe your skin is really pale. Well, whatever the affliction may be, you can really, really make the best of what you've been dealt. And if there's one thing that I've discovered, it's that there's nothing more attractive than a person, male or female, who makes the most of the hand that they have been dealt. Look at these skinny arms. I mean, there's nothing going on here, but that's okay, because what I believe is, if you think about everybody's attractiveness, and I'm not teaching people how to hit on women or anything, I wouldn't know where to start, but I think that it pays to be presentable, right? So if you think about where you are, let's say give yourself a score out of 10, right? If you would say you're a 5 out of 10, you follow my advice and I guarantee I can raise you up by 2 points. So if you're a 5 out of 10, you can be a 7 out of 10 on the attractiveness scale today. All you have to do is follow my advice. If you're lucky enough to be a 7, you can be a 9, etc. And let's just leave it at that before I run into trouble if I get to the 9s and 10s, you know. But everybody can make the best of what they've got, and this is, to me, a little bit of fun and a little bit of laughter. And why not be honest about stuff like this, you know? So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the sort of things that I would do pretty much every morning. And before I begin, it's ahoy to the great Stefan Hummel. How are you doing, Stefan? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So again, I'm not teaching people how to go out on the pool or anything. I'm trying to show people how to be presentable and how to hopefully do okay. Now, the very, very first thing that I do in the morning, funnily enough, I'm going to show you. It'll be a surprise. But this is the first thing I do, even before I brush my teeth or anything. Here we go. Just give me 1 minute. All right. All right, this is not really to do with being presentable or anything, but some of you remember Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. The Jedi Knights were talking about midichlorians. These microscopic creatures that live inside us, speak to us, and without them, we would not be able to survive. A lot of Star Wars fans thought that this ruined Star Wars. But interestingly, George Lucas said in an interview that if he had done another 3 movies, he would have doubled down on the midichlorians idea. Again, a lot of Star Wars fans were disappointed. However, go to Google News, do a search, because January this year, scientists discovered and officially announced a new life form that lives inside your gut. And it turns out gut instinct is real, and gut instinct is something that happens. I don't want to go into it and end up getting into a corner. I'm not a scientist or a doctor or anything, but there's a nerve called the vagus nerve. And according to the research, and they're all into this, Harvard, Oxford, all the unis have been looking into this, there are as many neurons in your gut as in a medium-sized dog, such as a Labrador. And so, I know it sounds crazy, but believe it or not, gut instinct is a real thing. And this model that we've had, I had it all through the years, where we are here, this thinking thing, all of the action happens here, and this is all just hardware. Turns out that that's not the case at all. Turns out that we've got this nervous system throughout our whole body with neurons here, there, and everywhere. So the first thing I'm doing when I wake up is I'm giving myself a probiotic. I mean, I'm not doing this to pump iron or anything, but normally when I wake up, I'm chucking on a watch with a bezel and I'm timing half an hour. So, you know how to work these, right? So let's say this one. This is a countdown bezel. So I would go there where the second hand is. So there it is right there. Grab one of these little beauties here. And there's a variety of different brands. You can get them in all good shops. I'm not sponsored by anybody, you know. But the very first thing I'm doing when I wake up, because gut instinct is a serious business for me and for everybody, I give myself a little bit of a Jedi top up. This is going to help with your instinct. It's going to help with how you feel. You're going to be able to have powers that some might consider unnatural. All right, so let me down this. All right, so that's the first thing I'm doing every single day. And like I say, I'll be timing that for half an hour. And all of those little midi-chlorians are having a little party going, oh, this is cool, this is great. Now, again, I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. Do your own research. The way that it works is incredible, actually, and it's a whole new branch of science that has only just been discovered. All right, so next, that out of the way, what are we going to do next? Well, let me see if anyone's in first. Oh yes, it's booming in here. It's booming. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is focus on the gnashers. Now, I've done a bit of research. I've consulted with my dentist, who's the best in the world. And fancy toothpastes are a rip-off. Good old Colgate is going to be just fine. Call me a boa. Call me a boa. But the research is good. Now, I know that you know what it looks like when some dude brushes his teeth, so let's not make a big thing out of this. Just give me a couple of seconds, okay? Actually, maybe I have got something to say. You know, I was at the dentist last month for a checkup. I'd mentioned this just on one of the live streams. The dentist told me, and this is her words, not mine, she said, you are an anomaly. She says, most people, their teeth get worse with age and their gums recede. She says, your gums are coming back and your teeth are getting better to the extent where a year ago I would have been in some insurance group for likelihood of tooth decay. And she's like, I have to take you off that insurance group now. What the heck have you been doing? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what I've been doing. See, when you brush your teeth, and I know that it seems a bit patronizing, but listen to the friendly voice, you'll thank me later, right? Receding gums is a huge problem. And what happens is your gums recede, it exposes the roots, and this is how people lose their teeth, especially after the age of 40. Now, give me just 2 seconds. It turns out your body has got an incredible capacity for healing. This is natural, no drugs required, no need to buy any supplements or anything like that. So what you want to do when you brush your teeth, right, and I won't zoom in and make life miserable, but when you brush your teeth, you actually brush the gum. So if you can imagine, let me show you here. Right, okay. So imagine that this is your gum, and by the way, this is a house that I'm going to buy soon. I use it as a mouse mat. It's my motivation and my inspiration. So imagine this is your gum, and imagine this is your tooth, right? So gum, tooth. So when you're brushing your teeth, you don't brush here, and you don't brush here. You brush here. That's right. You brush the gum. In fact, it was my dentist who had told me this, although I do have some other tricks. And my dentist had said, brush from and into the gum. And if it bleeds, good. That's your body's natural defense mechanisms, healing processes, and all of that stuff swinging into action. So when I'm brushing my teeth, I don't brush my teeth like you guys. I brush my teeth from and into the gum. And if it bleeds, good. I don't care. All right? And just so you know, I am not far off of 50 years old, and I don't have perfect teeth, but I have a full set, you know, and I'm not going to get false teeth. It's not bad, right? So remember, folks, brush onto and into the gums. All right. see what I'm saying? Like this. You see what I'm saying? I'm actually rushing to go and down. Alright. Now also, in case you're wondering, that's one of those little sonic toothbrushes I'm using there. And again, I've found those to be pretty good. Do you think I'm done with the teeth? I'm not done with the teeth. Next, I'm going to be using this little beauty here. An oral irrigator. You'll pick these up for peanuts to the pound. And it's, well, let's just say I hope you like water sports. So, with this, what you want to do is you do not use tap water. Tap water's garbage, actually. You want to use distilled water. And one of the, I'm telling you folk, you have to get one of these. It will change your life. So we're going to use distilled water. Fill up one of these little things. You can pick these things up for peanuts. I don't know the going rate. Maybe about 30 quid or something. Anyway, I'm going to half fill this up with distilled water. Now, distilled water is like, it's kind of like a sponge, and it soaks up impurities. So this is why when dentists clean your mouth, they use distilled water. It's not ordinary water, right? And I'm not using any tooth whiteners or anything as well. I do have a little bit of super cheap mouthwash here. Doesn't have to be expensive. But I'm going to whack in some of this as well. So here we go. Alright. So now we've got a combination of distilled water. You're going to have to get a distiller, folks. And also, kind of half distilled water, half mouthwash. Alright. So, I'm now going to give this a little whack. And this is where the real magic happens. This is the stuff that gets dentists saying, "What on earth have you done?" So, give me just a second. Alright, now I'm not blown. This thing is just going and scooshing water. I'm not going really hard with it. And I'm not even bothering about white teeth or anything. But I'm just trying to clean my darn mouth, you know, it's no big deal. I'm going to go have a wee bit more power on the front here though, just for a second, okay? So I'm just going to turn it up. And in case you're wondering, this is a basin. Alright. So that's pretty good. I'm going to just rinse off this toothbrush now and then do my tooth, but with a clean toothbrush, if you know what I mean. So give me just a second. Alright, now this is going to seem batshit crazy, but once you've done this, this is a clean toothbrush. Okay, the next thing. Now this is going to seem a bit nuts, but a cloth. It's a brand new one, okay? And believe it or not, cloths hit parts that toothbrushes don't. And when you do this, it's like a frigging mirror. Alright, that's me. Now, okay, so my teeth are not perfect. My teeth are not white. I don't use whiteners or anything. I've had offers. I don't use anything like that. Just naturally clean. It's all we're looking for. So that'll do with the tooth department. And as you can see, yes, I take the tooth department seriously. So the next part of the process is going to be, believe it or not, the lighting. You would be amazed at the difference a little bit of lighting can do. And all I'm trying to do is balance it. I've got a window here, but I'm trying to get a balance. Do you see that? Alright, so that's actually pretty good lighting. I'm happy with it. I'm now going to do skin and hair. I have a few unique challenges with my skin and hair, so give me 2 seconds. Alright, now as I've mentioned before, I do have a few challenges with my skin. I recently developed this vitiligo thing, and I get white patches on my skin. You can see a wee bit here, see these white patches, and they go down here, and you can see a few of them run there. So I have white patches. It's really weird. I mean, my skin's really pale, but I've this is a drag. It's not a lump. That is just pure white skin. It's very weird. So, the good news for me is it gives me an excuse to chuck a bit of fake tan on. And why not, you know? Now, I've got two types here. I've got light and I've got medium. I'm going to start with the light, and I have a pretty cool trick coming up with this. So, let's give this a little old dab. That's right. It doesn't really cover it up, to be honest. But it works for me. Makes it look like I haven't been in a basement writing code for the last 30 years or something, you know? Anyway. Don't forget the neck. Okay. Now, hold on. Alright. It's actually not too bad. Right, the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to get the darker one. And what I'm going to do with this will be shocking. My hair's pure white from here down to here. I mean, you can kind of see it. See the border? I've just got this white. It's a long story, you know. And what I discovered, and I've never seen this tip anywhere else, but lucky me, that's right, I can tan the hair. I discovered this entirely by accident, and I'm kind of lucky because this colour works for me, you know, entirely by accident. But there we go. And keep in mind, my hair's actually white there. I got a hair transplant in 2008, and they gave me this big Frankenstein scar on my head from here all the way around here. And they said, okay, that's you on drugs for life. And I just thought, nah. I never bothered. And so my hair pretty much all fell out again. And even worse, suddenly below this scar it all went really white, you know, which was a real downer at the time. But thankfully I discovered my little tricks and I'm showing you them now. The one funny thing about this is that out of nowhere I found myself getting called Ginger, which was kind of amusing, but that's okay. I don't mind. Alright, so that's just about that. Now, like a perfect oil painting, we want to just do a few little touches. So imagine the sun. How would the sun hit your face? It would probably hit your face here. It would probably hit your face here. And you'd probably have a wee bit here. Alright. Entirely macho, don't you know? Alright. That's good. So the next part is kind of critical. A little bit of this very cheap moisturiser here. Everything I'm doing costs peanuts, by the way. Now, when I do this at first, it's kind of going to blend things a wee bit. And for about 20 minutes, my face is going to look like an oil slick. But eventually, it's going to dry in and hopefully you'll look kind of invigorated, you know? Don't forget the neck area. Alright, looking good. Alright. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Now, if this was the full makeover, I'd be tinting my eyebrows and eyelashes and everything. But we're not going to do that today. I am going to wash my hands though, and then we're going to work on the hair. Alright. So now we're on to the hair. And as you can see, I don't have much. I lost about 80% of my hair on top. I think I managed to get some of it back, but my hair has been an ongoing soap opera. Now, before I talk about my hair, are we anybody in the room here? Well, there's a few. Alright. Ahoy to Michael Levitt, and ahoy to Rex, who says, could be excessive UV exposure. It could be, yeah, except I don't go out much. I have no idea what it is. Anyway, let's talk about the hair. So, you guys who are balding, and I'm one of you. Hang on. So, when you're a guy whose hair's thinning, you have good hair days and you have bad hair days. And I need to close this door. And you have these little days where out of the blue, you get the sort of bald guy's proposition from Mother Nature. And this is where you wake up and your hair's like this, and you look in the mirror and you say, man, that looks kind of thick. Actually, a little bit messy, but yeah, that looks thicker than usual. And you say, I'm going to do that. And tons of guys who are losing their hair do that, and they think that if they mess their hair up, it's going to do the trick or something, and that they've somehow I don't know, put checkmate on Mother Nature. But guys, when Mother Nature gives you those little propositions and you wake up with hair like this and you go, oh, it's not too bad, take my advice. Decline the offer. Decline the offer. You see, right now Mother Nature's saying, hey, if you have your hair a bit messy, I'll make it look a bit thicker. Do we have a deal? And we are going to say, nay, we do not have a deal. So, a little bit of distilled water. We're always going to decline the deal. And even though it's going to make my hair look thinner, I don't care. I'm gonna be tidy. In fact, I'm gonna be exquisite. So, here we go. Now you don't need to comb your hair like mine, but again, I've mentioned this on many live streams before. A lot of guys who are losing their hair do this because they're terrified of this part, or they'll get creative and do things like this. None of it works. None of it works. Take my advice. Use the inverse comb over, patent pending. I invented it. So what's a comb over? You're combing over your most shameful parts. The inverse comb over is where we do the exact opposite. So we're doing this, right? And you're saying, right, what is the worst, thinnest part that I'm trying to hide? So I'm having a look, and it's probably about here, right? That's the bit that everybody wants to cover up. Good. So instead of covering it up, we're going to separate here. Aha! So, how you like me now, Mother Nature? We are declining the offer. And we're not doing a comb over. We are doing an inverse comb over. I like it when it's well defined, which I'm not able to get in this light. But you get the idea. It's the inverse comb over. My hair's a little bit wet here, so I don't have as much body as I would like. Now, another thing. For guys who are losing their hair, you'll notice that I'm using a steel comb. Remember I was talking about your body's natural healing process? Well, this is why we use a steel comb, you see? And so when you're combing your hair, you can start lightly, and you don't want to do this every day. But if you're worried about hair loss, increase the pressure gradually. And then every few days, you want to comb your hair, and I'm going harder and harder. It's kind of like this. Can you hear it? And so now I'm doing the exact opposite of what other balding guys do. I know what you're like. You're all scared to use towels and everything. You're all scared to comb your own hair. Well, I go the other way. And I'm combing my hair quite rough now and quite hard, and you're going to see my scalp going kind of red. Kind of red, but that's cool. That redness means that my body's natural healing power is going to go to that area. You try this, take my advice, do this for 3 months, and you will be amazed. I'm talking to the guys who are concerned about losing a bit of hair. Alright, there we go. Now, to give you an idea of just how effective this is, I have these powders here that my lady Wonder Wench got me them, and you dab them on your hair like this and brush them in, and suddenly you've gone like JFK. And I've now gone to the stage where I don't really need them. I don't have any products on my hair at all right now, apart from a little bit of fake tan on the side panels. So the steel comb is the best tip that I can give any guys who are concerned about hair loss. This is going to change everything, and use the techniques that I'm giving you here. Alright, so hair's sorted. Skin's gonna look good in just a minute. The teeth are cool. I've got something in my eye. But now it's time to talk about the threads. So it's pretty simple. Excuse me. There's really only 2 shots that are acceptable, by my estimation. A white shot or a shot with vertical stripes. That's it. That's your whack. Anything else, bullshit. And whatever happens, never buy a blue shirt. Some of you go in the shop and you see a blue shirt and you say, oh, that's going to look nice. A blue shirt is the uniform of a scrubber. So there's nothing wrong with people who have low-level jobs, let's say. But you're not a frigging train conductor. So if you have any blue shirts in your wardrobe, throw them out today. Throw them out, and in their place get a white shirt. Now I have a bunch of them. Like I say, you want to go for just plain white or vertical stripes. Everything else is bullshit. I'm going to go and get a plain white one going here. I'm going to chuck a white t-shirt underneath it because it's freezing cold. And I'll be right back in about 2 minutes. Alright. So to be clear guys, if there's one item of clothing that you need to buy if you're going on this journey, it's a white shirt. I have these magical shirts that only cost me 16-17 quid from Primark. And the nice thing is, I don't even know what the material is, but you don't even need to iron them. They're kind of magical, you know? And they come out just fine. So, my advice is buy maybe between 5 and 7 of these. And I don't wear a white shirt every day, but it's always either white or else vertical stripes, you know? And you'll notice my lighting is not great, but the shirt is gleaming. When you wash your shirts, obviously, you don't want red socks or anything in there. But a gleaming white shirt is going to make a huge, huge difference to your vibe. That is the first thing you get. And like I say, the shirts I've got, they cost me, I think it was, I'm going to say 16 quid out of Primark. And they are perfect. So, look at that. And you can see my computer's freaking out, trying to figure out what lighting to use here. Do you see the difference? Alright. So, now I'm going to chuck on a jacket. And let's see what we've got. Give me just a little second, won't you? Alright, so I've got about 9 or 10 suit jackets, I suppose us working class types would call them. And I'm going to just try a few on and see how I'm feeling. Alright, this is my selling jacket. If you see me wearing this, I'm probably selling something. Might be. This is my Roger Moore taking on the crocodile's jacket. No, it's not. It's a different colour. This is just a grey one. Nah. This is the TV repairman's jacket. It's brown. And you don't get a lot of brown jackets. I'm going to go with this. Alright. So it's the TV repairman's jacket today. By the way, when I turn round there, I know that my chin looks terrible. And I think I've got a wee bit of a bald patch there. But if I look forward, hopefully I'll get away with it. Now, that's pretty cool. I like it. I like it. So it's going to be the TV repairman's jacket. Now, what the heck is this? And what the heck is this? Well, I live in sunny Scotland, and a lot of the people who hire me are in different time zones. So if you see a little chain, it's usually a pocket watch that I've got set to my client's time zone. So this one here, for example, it's a little wind-up one, and I don't know if it's the right time, but it's usually set to the time in Utah, in case you're wondering. So it's just a little thing I do to keep in sync with my clients here. So that goes through here, and then I've just got a little button. I think it's a little picture of a crown. Can you see it? I mean, I'm not a royalist or anything, but I am the king of web development. So it's just, the whole idea with this is it's like a little highlight, and it tells people that you are not some scrubber who does filing in an office. You are different. There's something about you, and I'm a real believer in accessorizing like this. Remember the slogan of our great philosopher advisor in these matters, Adam Ant, when he says, ridicule is nothing to be scared of. let's get a tie. Now I've got about 25 ties there, and I usually try on about 5 of them, give myself a score out of 100 and then choose one. I'm going to just choose a few of them and do that right about now. Okay. So you never can tell what tie's going to look good, and the best vibe is to just hold them up and give yourself a score out of 100. So when I go like that, $27. When I go like this is a new one. $62. Keep that one here. $53. $18. So the winning tie is this one. I'm taking this off to avoid any creases in the old arm areas because they're difficult to get out. On the tie front, you want to be using, well, it depends on the type of tie, but if it's a standard tie like this, you want to go with a full Windsor is the name of it. So a schoolboy knot goes like this. Okay, you don't want to do that and then through and then down, but a full Windsor's different. You want to have as much length here as possible, hardly anything here. Now, I may not get this right first time because it can be a bit tricky. The goal is to have it so that this part of the tie basically touches where your belt line is, right? So that's if we're lucky, we'll get it first time. If I'm unlucky, it'll take 2 or 3 attempts. But here we go. So for a Windsor, we go over and through like that. Then we go to the other side, over and under and through. We're given a symmetry here, and we've got a little V shape here that we can build upon. So we wrap around that and then down through the middle. Now, by the way, I'm just doing this subconsciously. I could see that I've got too much length here, so I'm kind of adjusting this and making the knot a bit bigger so that I can try and get this right. And I got it right first time. So that's perfect. And then, I know that you can't see that bit, but trust me, I got it right. There we go. And it's so easy. There's a big misconception that a thin tie is feminine or something like that. But if you look at the early James Bond movies with Sean Connery, who's some consider the idol of men's style, he's wearing very skinny ties in a lot of those movies, you know. So I'm quite happy with what I've got here. I think that's going to be fine. I could babble on about colour theory and stuff like that, but there's not much to say except that because my skin is so light, I have to get light colours on a lot of the time, you know. Otherwise I look like a ghost. Anyway, we're almost there. Okay. Good. Let's just make sure. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, if you have a sort of out of control tie, you can chuck on a little one of these. But beware, because it can be overkill. I've already got this, so this and this would be a bit too much. I'm going to just go with this vibe. Alright. So, next stage is the one that I enjoy the most, and that is choosing a watch. You can see this one's not quite working anymore. So, let's ditch this. Now, the type of watch that I would chuck on depends very much on what I'm hoping to do that day. If I'm hoping to dazzle people and I'm going to appear and teach or something in front of a group, maybe I'll wear something with a little bit of sparkle. But if I'm going to be just getting into the trenches, let's say, in coding for 10 hours, then I'll try and get something that's a bit more simplistic and something that doesn't have lots of dials and things so that I can focus, you know? So let me see if I've got anything that falls into that category. Alright, so I've managed to dig out 3 that might potentially be suitable, and yeah, I've managed to dig out 3 and maybe even 4 that could be suitable. And again, I'm not trying to dazzle people today. I'm trying to work, you know? So I don't want anything too flashy. Let's see what we got. So many of you have seen this before. It's my Citizen. I've had it for years. It's a little Citizen, I think it's called a Chandler, and it's an Eco Drive. You can pick these up for 100 quid. It's got the day and the date, and it's pretty cool. Very simple, and it doesn't work. Isn't it funny how you can just feel it? Alright, let's try this little Omega Rail Master Homage. Now this is one of Dave's, my friend from England, and if you're watching Dave, I've put another strap on it, okay? So the other strap's in here. This is a little cheap strap that I put on it. But this is based on an Omega Rail Master. It's outrageously simple. Can you see this? Very simple. I'll have to adjust the time on it. But it has clarity, you know? So let's see how this one looks. Quite good. Quite good. Yeah. That's a candidate. Alright. Now another candidate, and I had this on video the other day in my watch channel, is going to be this little beauty. This is a Proxima. And this is the most elegant dive watch that you ever did see. And it's elegant because it's so thin. Dive watches don't usually look like this. It's got a rubber strap, white face, loomed up to the max. Let's see. Automatic. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I think that's excellent. Alright, last candidate is going to be this. My hands are a bit dirty, but pardon me for that. It's my fake tan. But this is a Rolex Explorer Homage from Cadison. All of these watches that I'm showing you are going to be going on eBay in a few days' time with a £1 minimum reserve, by the way, just so you know. I've got a boatload of watches here, and I'm going to be getting rid of a ton of them soon. So if you're interested, let me know. Yeah. So that's the Explorer. Pretty good. But funnily enough, it doesn't work with this. So I'm going to decline that. So we are down to 2 watches here. It's going to be this little beauty here. I love it. Or it's going to be this one here. Right, I'm going to go with the Rail Master Homage. I know that it's not dazzling people, but it just feels right. And remember, I'm not closing any deals or anything tonight. I'm just working. So this is going to be great. It's going to give me that focus that I want. There's no little wheels or gears or anything that are going to put me off. I can now be incredibly mindful of the time, and I think it fits in perfectly with everything else. All right, so pretty neat, pretty cool. Do you think we're done? We're not done. One of the things that's really important when you get into this stuff is that you have to be exquisite from head to toe. And the standard is, if somebody walks in that door, they're not going to catch me wearing a pair of boxer shorts or something. So even though you don't see what I'm wearing, ever, you've never seen my feet or my legs or anything, I don't care. It has to be perfect, even though you don't see it. So, give me a little second. And yes, I have matching trousers here. So I'm going to chuck these on. And if my cat's been near them, I'm going to have to get some gaffer tape or something. So give me just a wee second, won't you? Give me just a little second here and I'll chuck these on. Then we've got the full matching suits, you see. Okay, remember what I said about the tie being just kind of going to where it meets your belt, basically? You can see I'm not a million miles away here. Let's not do too much of that. But it's not too bad. A little bit Trumpian. His ties go on for miles, you know? Okay, so we're now all matching up. Guess what comes next? That's right. Shoes. And again, somebody said in a live stream a few months ago, I bet you're wearing a pair of slippers and Bermuda shorts or something. And I said, I'll tell you what, when I'm doing a live stream, you can invite me to stand up at any time to show my shoes or my trousers or anything. And if you catch me out, I'll give you $1,000. Nobody catches me out. So for the shoes, I'm going to be going with these. These are just a pair of beautiful suede shoes, and I picked them up. You know how much these were? Shout a number at the screen, folks. They look giant. Are my feet that big? Anyway, you know how much these were? Come on, shout a number at the screen. Anybody? These. I picked these up from AliExpress for 17 quid. That's right. 17 quid. And in fact, I'll give you a full price breakdown of everything I'm wearing here. Anyway, here they go. Shame you can't see them. But I can see them. Okay. Now, in actual fact, in actual fact, I'm kind of letting myself down a wee bit here because this is not a high enough standard. Because I'm actually wearing kind of blue socks, which doesn't go. You know. So I don't really feel good about that. And normally that would not be the standard, but I'll go with it here since it's just a podcast. So give me a minute. All right. All right, shoelaces tied. Let me just sort the hair. And there we go. Oh, one other thing. That doesn't match my face. So let me put just a wee bit on the back of my hand. Just a smidge. There you go. There you have it. So nobody is looking at this guy and saying, "Oh, there's a supermodel." But I am. Officially. I am the best dressed guy in the neighbourhood. In the whole neighbourhood. Right now. Right now, I'm the best dressed guy in the neighbourhood. Moreover, if I go outside now, I mean, I'm not going to have people throwing themselves at me or anything, but people treat you better. People treat you better. I'll give you an example. I was at a supermarket today, and just at lunchtime, and there was a shortage of staff members, and they didn't have any scanning machines, and they only had 2 people on the checkouts, and these big giant queues, maybe 10 people in each of the queues. Do you think I joined the queue? No. You don't join the queue. So checkout 1 had somebody on, big massive queue. Checkout 2, same story. Do you know what I did? I caught somebody's attention. And I said, I assume you're going to have somebody on one of these checkouts, right? And the guy said, well, there will be at some point, but yeah, they'll be on their way. I said, good. And I stood at checkout number 3. Just stood there. Nobody else, big empty checkout. And by now, the 2 queues are going halfway up the aisle. And they're all looking at me as if I'm crazy. But I just stood at checkout 3, entirely on my own, no queue. And after about 2 minutes, a guy whom I'm pretty sure is a manager or an assistant manager ran out really quick. And he said, oh, sorry. Says, oh, come on through. I'll just take you through here. On you go. Says, thank you very much. And I headed on out. And everybody's like, what the heck? That kind of thing is the norm for me. It happens just about every day. I'm tempted to say every day. You dress like this, and I'm telling you, suddenly, like, the way I look at it is this. You know, for a long time, people were babbling on about white privilege. You remember that? You heard all of that. Oh, white privilege, blah, 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 blah. I never felt any white privilege. But you know what? You start dressing like this, you know, and the accessories are very important. You wear a suit on your own, you just look like a telesales asshole. But you dress like this, different, you see? And I'm telling you, it's like one of those special black bank cards that we hear about, you know? It's like you've got a pass to the VIP suite. So, that's my advice. Oh, what a time to be a guy. Anyway, I hope you got something from that. Let's see if anybody's in here. I'm now having a look at your comments here. Alright. Well, Barat. And thank you to the person who gave me a like, by the way. Barat Ranglani says, please tell about PHP Future. Please tell about PHP Future. I think he's gone. I don't know if there's any point in telling about PHP's future if he's gone. Is he? I don't know. Anyway, would anyone like to discuss PHP's future? What do you reckon? How do we feel about PHP's future, folks? Well, oh, I forgot my final touch. That's right. The mark of the man. I love this stuff. I've worn Brute since the mid-90s. It's a trademark of mine. Do you know Sylvester Stallone's this stuff is peanuts. It's like £2 or £3, but it's great. And in case anybody thinks Brute is not cool, let me give you some information that will have you all running to your nearest supplier for a bottle of this stuff. As we all know, Sylvester Stallone is one of the greatest actors ever. And his most over-the-top movie was Over the Top. Literally, that's the title of it. And if you look at the movie Over the Top, Stallone is a trucker. He drives a big articulated truck. That's his job. And if you look on the truck, what is it he's driving? Brute aftershave, or what is it he's advertising? I'll see if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you this. Stallone over the top truck. Yeah. Here we go. Have a wee look at this. See? So check it out. Brute. There it is right there. So that is straight from the movie. So there's Stallone with his Brute aftershave truck. And if ever there was an excuse to go and get yourself a hold of this, this is it. And of course, it's kind of the world's funniest joke as well, because it's so cheap and kind of retro and dated. But that's what I like about it, you know? Anyway, I hope you got something from this. This has been DC's Macho Male Makeover. And yes, I do this every day, 7 days a week. I know it all seems a bit crazy, but oh, what a time to be a guy. I'll see you soon. Take care. And for those of you, well, actually, maybe I won't go on the member stream because the stuff I'm doing is a bit boring. I'll probably come on tomorrow, actually. I hope you got something from this. Stay cool and keep on coding. Bye! that's the end of the live stream. And just so you know, I did do one other final touch there just when I went off camera. And that is, I chucked these on. I'm going for the Chicago gangster vibe today, you know. Anyway, thanks again for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon.